Sweetness began here. Over 130 years ago, the first ships brought raw cane sugar to this site in London, where Tate & Lyle workers turn it into pure sugar and syrup, sweetening the food of millions of people in Britain and the rest of Europe. That's the way it has been since that day. Sweetness truly begins here, thanks to a team of 800 dedicated workers.
This company has had a long tradition of being in this community. It's been refining sugar here for over 100 years, and in fact holds the oldest brand logo in the world with the lion on Lyle's golden syrup.
Well, Tate & Lyle is a very big presence in our community. It's a very important economic presence. Still something like 1,000 jobs all told at the refinery in Silvertown, together with the golden syrup plant at Plaistow Wharf. But more than that, Tate & Lyle has made a really good contribution to the community, particularly supporting improvements in education standards. We've seen a lot of progress, and Tate & Lyle has made a substantial contribution to that.
On the other side of the world, Fiji, another world where Tate & Lyle Sugars is helping another community. This is where cane sugar is grown. It grew here even before the refinery was built in London. But the industry has struggled due to a lack of investment, skills and political uncertainty. Prakesh and his family are part of a new, vibrant side to the industry in Fiji that's breaking this downward spiral.
They had been here helping the farmers in a number of ways. Recently we had some people, specialists, they came to advise how to plant the cane. You know, they assisted us in land preparation, giving us awareness how to plant cane, how to cultivate, when to harvest, right variety of cane and a lot of things. And the farmers are, they are very proud to know about all those things, about their land. The soil sampling has been done by those farm advisors, and they are bringing up the results to us.
Achieving fair trade status was a priority for Tate & Lyle Sugars. It has invested heavily in improving quality, production techniques and helping Fiji create an industry with a real future.
The apprenticeship scheme has been restarted, and only 2 weeks ago they put on 16 apprentices at Lambassa Mill. Well, they're very receptive to any help they can get and guidance, and they're very open and very happy that we're here to assist them the way we are.
The Fiji story is repeated in other countries seeking to develop. Belize, Guyana, Jamaica, Barbados, Laos and Cambodia all have had similar help. Their produce is taken to the UK and Portugal, where the refining process ensures the highest quality sugar reaches European consumers. This is the only alternative to European-grown sugar, beet sugar, bringing consumer choice, competition and food security to Europe, as well as helping poorer nations grow. But the future is no longer sweet.
If our farmers didn't add the subsidy that they had for years, they wouldn't have produced the beet they produced for years. And the same thing happens in the rest of the European countries. They receive that subsidy. And that's why the beet can compete with the cane sugar.
There are a lot of farmers in Europe who grow sugar beet, and the European Commission understandably tends to favour their interests. But just over the last few years, the system really has become quite seriously skewed against cane refining. And of course, sugarcane has to be imported to the European Union, largely from developing countries around the world, countries in many cases that have very, very long-standing trading links with the UK. And I think everybody wants to see those links maintained. It's certainly in the interest of those developing countries, but it's in the interest of Europe as well, that the plentiful supplies of cane sugar around the world should be available on the European market. And one of the problems that's arisen as a result of how the policies developed over the last few years is there's actually been a shortage of sugar in Europe, and prices have risen very sharply. They needn't have done, and the European Commission really needs to correct its policy to avoid the problems that we've seen over the last few years.
The European Commission has changed its policy. Whilst it had always ensured that domestic beet sugar producers control the vast majority of the market, it had allowed cane sugar refiners minority access in order to provide competition and promote international development. Access to cane sugar is controlled by the European Commission. Recently, it has started asking for huge import duties on the raw cane needed to keep London and Lisbon refining. Now the company simply cannot get enough to keep the refineries busy.
Over the last year, 2 years, we were really struggling for vessels. When I started 88, we were 74 vessels a year. We're now down to 48 vessels, which is no good for anybody. If we was just even to get another 200,000 tonnes, so we could be up to 900,000 tonne, that's a big help for us. But we're just not getting it. They're not treating us fairly, I don't think. If tomorrow this place would shut, I just wouldn't know what to do. This is all I know. This is my life from when I left school.
It's a sad day for me at the moment as the site convener. We're in consultations with the company over potential job losses and 65 displacements within the company.
I'm 60 years of age now. I was 49 when I came, and I imagine being here until I'm 65 and retiring from here, yeah. Everything seems weighted with the beet producers, and we haven't really got anybody in our corner fighting our cause.
Tadenlal Sugar is an historic brand, a household name in the UK. But unless Europe provides fair access to the market, workers fear the brand and their jobs could soon become part of history and nothing more.
If it was a fair playing field for the sugar industry, then cane sugar is the most economical way to produce sugar and profitable. And this refinery would last forever.
Fair trade money paid for this digger. Tadenlal Sugars encouraged farmers in Fiji to aspire to this fair trade status to help them turn their industry around. But there will be no fair trade here if Europe does not allow fair trade for the cane industry. What will become of these fields if they cannot sell sugar? Who would partner Fiji's farmers? And what future exists for Fiji's children or those in London or Lisbon?
I think it would be a tragedy if, because of errors made by the European Commission, if the refinery had to close down. I don't want to see that happen. I don't think it is going to happen, but we do need the Commission to introduce fair rules so that that refinery can compete alongside other sugar producers in a fair way.
Tadenlal Sugar's message to Europe is simple. We don't want favours, we don't want handouts, we just want a level playing field that will allow us to compete. Help us to help developing communities, give consumers a sweet choice through fair competition, and contribute to food security in Europe. The future of our business and social contribution is in your hands. As the guardians of fair competition, don't take away our future.